Welcome to the Stargate Fund podcast called The Foundation. Your host is Joseph Conrad, founder of the Stargate Fund, which is a non-profit organization focused on support and development forward-thinking projects that would benefit future generations in the next 100, 500 and 1,000 years. You can find show notes from today's show at stargatefund.com podcast.
Anna, welcome to the Foundation podcast.
Thank you.
It's a big pleasure to speak with the Space Warrior. I know that you became part of the International Institute of Space Law, non-governmental organization that located in other country, and we have some subsidy in Ukraine. Could you tell me more about its mission and how it's influenced Ukraine?
Okay, thank you so much for invitation. It's a great pleasure of me to speak with you and to share some my ideas about space law in international sphere. The International Institute of Space Law is a brilliant mind which need to share with all over the world of their ideas how to protect space, how to make the correct order for all states and outer space treaty, for example, we said that the space exploration and use should be for the interest and benefits of all countries. It's the main idea of work of all the participants of this institute. The main task which make this institute effective and so well known all over the world, they try to make space law accessible for all. Nevertheless, the scientific or economical or other level of development of the country or the scientists, they organize the moot courts for the young scientists, for the students that believe that they could make something very useful for further legal order of this year. Also, it's we exchange our ideas about what can be done for a sustainable development of space activity.
What is your main motive to join the space industry?
I think that all our space community a little bit crazy in their imagination, life, and expectation about the past and future. And the space as science and the mystery equally mesmerizing because it's carefully something beyond the human's comprehension. I have not any other choice than write my PhD thesis on this on the topic of legal protection of the Earth from space debris.
I saw that you participated in some France seminars and also you had exciting speech and presentation about space debris. Could you expand more about this?
Oh, yes, it's my favorite topic. And unfortunately, humans have the relationships with the environment as a customer, and it's a great problem. So during the 15, 16 years, near space became so crowded. Anyone want to launch space vehicle, they need to choose the window, which will be free from space debris. Space debris became a huge problem for the sustainable development of space activity and for all and became a great obstacle for our plan to deployment of our colony beyond the Earth, because we can be imprisoned in the near Earth space by this lot of pieces of dangerous debris. This is the technical aspect of this problem, and we have also a lot initiative in the legal framework, but all these initiatives is non-legally binding, and we have a very different approaches of a lot of countries to implementation of these norms, which protect the space from littering. We can draw the parallel with the solving the problem of climate change, because the non-spacefaring nations said that it's very expensive for them. Make some measures, for example, make more green their technology. And they say, no, I can make such a technology that I can, and it's very technically useful for them, without considering about their further exploration, and that some states can make the impact for the exploration of other states of the space.
As I understand, most of the states do not consider making their activities more sustainable, but they consider developing some technologies that will remove results of their not sustainable activity,
Yes.
this spacecraft. And they do not move to some politics of good use of orbit.
Yes, and it's only the one part of the problem, because there are a lot of norms about mitigation of this problem when the states prescribe for the manufacturers to make some vehicles more green. I mean that they prescribe the procedure of passivation when discharge a lot of source of energy for protecting the launch vehicle from disposal and other events which make the space debris. But there are another problem that the space debris is so a lot of amount of space debris can push the scientists said that without active space debris removal procedure, we cannot solve this problem. But in the process of active debris removal, there are a lot of questions which connect with the communication between the states, which the control and jurisdiction over this space object, because the outer space treaty said that control and jurisdiction make maybe one or 4 states which launch this space object. And there are a lot of consideration about how much this position between different states which may have not a very good relationships, and maybe became a great obstacle for solving this problem by the means of active debris removal.
But I see that some technologies are already in use. I see that as provided some tests and NASA. Is there any projects in Ukraine that preparing or ready to launch in orbit?
I know that a few years ago, maybe 3 or 4, my International Central Space Law with other Ukrainian state entities take part within the 7 program of European Commission. This program funded the project of LEOSWIP. This project consider the opportunity to remove the space debris with laser, which can move the debris to the near Earth space closer, and they can burn and not. But our center make the legal and political consideration aspects of this project. And I know that it's realized. But now with this project, I cannot say.
What you could say about the state of space industry in Ukraine?
I see that nowadays international space order balances between 2 tendencies: sustainable development, militarization. Sustainable development is a very complex concept, but it has clear goal: preserve space for future generations. Under this, our space unfolded commercialization, insertion of IT applications into space activity like artificial intelligence or blockchain technology solutions like space debris removal, system or miniaturization of space objects and improving of their maneuverability and even space mining. Militarization is able to collapse this initiative, especially at the low level of trust between states and absence of clear legal certainty. All of us know about the initiative of India, USA, Japan, France, and other for creation space. But what about Ukraine? On this background, we can agree that Ukraine lose its potential so fast that it's very worrying. First of all, I want to point out the positive. In particular, our space state agency have a lot good, I think that's a good initiative for development of startups and other forms of commercial space activity. I think that it's necessary to mention the situation of a great hole between what now is happening in the world and what we have in Ukraine. But as a lawyer, I can say I cannot catch all administrative, commercial, and other spheres, but I see the problem in the domain of legal background. As you know, I think that in the end of the previous year, Space Act of Space Activity was changed. And the sphere of manufacturing of launch vehicle was agreed to be commercial. It's a great step for commercialization, I think, but it's very insufficient for changing the situation comprehensively. I will say that we have the problem for realization of this change, this novel, because we have not clear authorization. I know a lot of good entrepreneurs which want to make something in Ukraine in the domain of this activity, but they cannot understand which permission they need to make this their activity legally. Now we have the two types of authorization: it's permission and declaration. And authorization it's not clear. Also, we have a lot of initiations about suborbital flight, and now we have not clear dividing the power between the space agency, the Ministry of Economic and other, and it's really disoriented the private entities. Also, we have not the procedure of registration of space objects, and it's a key procedure within international order, because this procedure make the space activity of each state as stressful for another state. And when we cannot make our registration clear for another partners, they cannot work with us with trust. Also, we have not the new technical standards, because a lot of our standards is made in USSR, and the technology will change very fast, and it's not help make our space activity and entrepreneurship more competitive in the world. Also, we have a problem with the insurance of commercial space activity, because the procedures was drawn by state entities, and we have not a clear procedure how we can make these procedures when we have a lot of private entities. I can say that in the international community, there are a lot of initiatives of combining the space technology and IT technologies, and this make a space more accessible, even for states which never been spacefaring. we can see a very fast development of African state, and I think that's a great goal that we cannot understand that it's the sphere that we should think about, and we can regulate it also, because now there are a lot of problems with cyber attacks. Even on the such space application development in Ukraine is Earth observation, for example, and we need to protect this activity. And we cannot do this because we have not very clear and very effective legislation, cyber legislation. I think that you say a very interesting idea that we cannot commercialize our ideas. It's a great problem of our society, and because lots of engineers, it's more simple for them to go abroad and realize the ideas in other states. In Ukraine, we have some projects, but we have some obstacles on the ground of administration and law. And it's, for example, the Institute of Public-Private Partnership. We have two space programs, and in the both of recently space programs was prescribed the orientation on the public-private partnership, but it's remained only on the paper. Only it's just like declaration, because there are no any sportive actions. We have not any state body which initiate this specific cooperation between public and private entities within the Space Agency. We have not the imagination of this process, and it's a great problem, because when we look at the US, it's a brilliant. When we say about the SpaceX, we all know this company, but it's work with a great cooperation, very close cooperation with government. U.S. government has a lot of mechanisms of this cooperation. We haven't any of them. I said that this new Space Agency try to push some projects with a startup, make the accelerator, and make this cooperation between state and private entities more effective. But we just start make this process, and I think that maybe a long way. And when it's will be a long way, we can be very suffered of this process.
In 2019, Ukraine adopted changes to the space law. Could you walk me through details?
Yes, I said that first of all, that Article 4 of the law of about entrepreneurship said that only state entities could manufacture and the launch vehicle. This article is not work now, and it's open the opportunity for private company. But this legal change also was connected with another mechanism which can make some guarantees that this private activity should be effective, should be safety. But within this process of elaboration of these changes, there are a lot of errors. because misconnections between norms. And now, as I said, a lot of new entrepreneurs which plan to start space activity in Ukraine disoriented because they cannot imagine which permission they need to take and which document they need to bring to space agency, because we have not such a legal background as the procedure of the registration of space objects, procedure of conclude the insurance contract, which is necessary in the sphere of launching of space objects. And now we have something like great obstacle for this free private activity.
Can I develop here in Ukraine something and then sell it to, for example, Germany? Or we have some laws, for example, like in US, international traffic in arms regulation, that will prohibit from transferring.
I think that it could be the subject of consideration according to another. There are a lot of regimes of export control, not only the ITAR, the CNR Convention, and the others, which make each country and their export control bodies think about can you bring this engine on their territory or not? And I think that it's not only an obstacle by national legislation of Ukraine, international.
You participated in Young Space Hackathon. What is your interest?
Oh, I need to be more accessible for new actors. As I said, I was a member of a working group of changing legal background of commercial regulation of the commercial activity, space activity in Ukraine. And for me, it was a great interest to communicate with startups and to understand which questions they faced with when they start to make the space activity. And for me, it was a very interesting experience, because as I work at a scientific government organization, and as a scientist, I have a very active interest to the all new. And for me, there are a lot of new information, new experience, how to present my product, my knowledge, and it was very useful, I think, in an aspect of communication and also in the aspect of study. Yeah.
Is there any hobbies that you connect with dedication to space?
I read a lot about space, and as I said, the night skies is bothering me. So I try to find some solution for the question which I have. But I have some hobbies which connect not only with space, but with relationships between people, between the entities, and so on, which is the base of the legal regulation. Is the biology, and I'm interested in this. Frankly saying, I'm studying as a master at the Faculty of Biology. It's also my hobby. I was a professor of the International Space Law and International Environmental Law University, and the experience of communication with students is a very positive experience in my life. And also, I'm interested in international relationships too, and I want to understand it more deep and comprehensive. Yeah.
Can you suggest some books maybe articles, maybe organization to look at for our listeners?
Oh, I very like so much to read feed, which always have the very interesting articles, very in the sphere of space law. The Secure World Foundation, they have a very deep and comprehensive research about space war, about capabilities of a lot of states in the deployment of military use of outer space. The topic is very interesting for me, and I can say that it's very interesting research. Also, the review Space Watch is very interesting. But this tool that I mentioned is the most interesting that I met.
Say a few words about future in Ukraine.
I think that Ukraine have a good potential for developing such interesting and very innovative ideas in the sphere of green space economy, in the sphere of more eco-friendly launch vehicle. I know that in Ukraine we have one scientist that it suggests to launch the vehicle which burning in the atmosphere during it launch the space object, and it make it safer for space object and effective. But the launch vehicle is not pollute the near Earth space. I think that we should think in this direction, because I think if the Ukrainians have such sense of connection with their nature, connections with environment, and near Earth space and deep space also. I believe that it's also the environment of our life, it's our home. We can make its idea effective not only for our commercial interest, which also is very important, but also to present this idea for the world and to make something for the 100 years for sustainable development of space exploration.
Thank you so much. It's a great place to end this conversation.
Thank you.